Student loan forgiveness has some borrowers breathing a sigh of relief. However, there's been some pushback from lawmakers on the overall impact that it could have on the economy. So for more on this, we want to bring in Ayelet Sheffi. She is a senior economic policy reporter for Insider. Thanks for joining us. Listen, no surprise here. The president's announcement was met with praise, but also critics. Some people say it goes too far. Other people say it doesn't go far enough. But there is still sort of general confusion about how it's going to be rolled out. Are you going to get a check from the government? Are you going to, look at your balance and suddenly half of it's gone? What do we know about how the plan will be rolled out?
Yeah, that's a really important question right now. So what we know right now is that 8 million federal borrowers should automatically be eligible for up to $20,000 in student loan relief if the Education Department has their income information readily available. So those borrowers will likely be notified that they will not have to take additional action. But for the millions of other borrowers whose information is not readily available to the department, they will have to apply through an online form at studentaid.gov. And this form, the Education Department said, should be rolled out in the coming weeks, but definitely before December 31st, when student loan payments are set to resume. And borrowers can apply for that relief and self-certify their income. But more details will be coming on that.
So what about sort of the financial companies that kind of assist with these loans, that furnish the loans? There must be some pushback from there. I expect that they had some sort of contract with the government, and the expectation was, these loans are going to be paid off for many years to come. So what are we hearing from them?
Right. So at this point, what we've heard from all of the student loan servicers that manage the federal loan portfolio is that they will be, attempting to implement the changes that the department has put out as smoothly and as effectively as possible. And in some earnings calls, a couple of weeks before Biden made this announcement, these companies were actually anticipating an extension of the student loan payment pause and potential relief. So it is something that they, thought was coming. They had, some idea that this relief would be implemented, but there could be legal challenges down the road, maybe from these companies and others, in terms of how this will be rolled out. But at this point, the details are minimal on that.
Okay, so, a lot of people are not going to fit neatly into sort of the box of, you get $10,000 forgiven and you have no more loans left. So outside of getting part of your student debt forgiven, what does it mean if you still have an outstanding student loan? And what about if you were one of those people who maybe you started with a federal loan and maybe to get a better interest rate, you look to refinance and so you're no longer in that system anymore? Does this help you in any way?
Right. So for those borrowers who still have any student loan balance after the relief is taken into account, the Education Department will be rolling out a new income-driven repayment plan, which is intended to make monthly payments lower and cut the percentage of the discretionary income that the monthly payments will be based on. So those borrowers can anticipate that if they're still worried about paying off their student debt when payments do resume, the payments will be cheaper if they enroll through that plan. So that's one critical element that the department is taking right now to ensure that those borrowers who still have a balance will not have such a difficult time paying it off. And in terms of, borrowers who consolidated, refinanced, on the federal student aid website, the department does have some information on what those borrowers can do if they want to reconsolidate into direct loans and qualify for this relief.
Oh, that's interesting. And does this have any impact on borrowers who have already paid or people who are looking towards a future loan? Is this a one-time deal or what do we know about it?
So Biden has messaged this as one-time relief, but if you were a borrower that chose to make payments during the student loan payment pause in order to get ahead, or you weren't sure that this relief was coming, you can actually apply for a refund on the student loan payments that you made during the pandemic since March 2020. And you can do that by calling your student loan servicer and telling them that you wish to begin that process. And then the servicer will take it from there in terms of, those who have already started to make dents in their payments.
Ayelet Sheffi, this was really valuable information. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.